Hello and good afternoon on this it's very cold for me, on this very cold January afternoon, 13th of January 2021. We are in the second week. Yay, how exciting! And how exciting that we're getting on with the challenge of that has been put on humanity and we're moving on. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? So I'm also excited because this is another episode of Inspiration to Achieve with Patience Ogunbona. And we are on the last leg of the series, which I started, which is called Leading Your Life in 5 Stages. How exciting is that? Really, really exciting. Today we are doing the last 2 stages of it, and I'm really excited. So for a quick check, I just want to make sure that tech is working as it should in all areas because I'm coming to you live from Facebook and on my LinkedIn page, as well as in my group, the Visionary Introverted Women Community. So I'm really excited about this. And at the end, I also have an exciting announcement to make. All exciting stuff. Well, maybe you're not as chirpy as me today. So I'm hoping to be able to find some stories that will cheer you up as we do this Facebook Live. After all, this is called Inspiration to Achieve. So far, if you've been with me on this journey, we've been doing great. And so if you're joining me, make sure, you give permission to StreamYard so that we can see your comments and we can interact. And I don't like talking to myself only. This is all about connecting with people. So please connect with me, say hi, offer your own views, and let's share. So I will appreciate that. Thank you very much. So we have been on this journey so far since 2020, 5 sessions. And the first, we covered survival, survival of the fittest, needing to survive. And it's very relevant in our time right now. Then we also looked at choice as the second thing. Hi, Janet. Thanks for joining me on LinkedIn. So we looked at choice as well. The choices, how to empower yourself to make the right choices and the choices that you need to make to be able to move forward. But once you've made a choice, you've got to deliver. So the third stage we talked about was performance. And we're not just talking about business, but we're talking about in life. You have to perform, you have to deliver, you have to understand your potential and put in that productivity. So today, what does all that direct you to? It's leading yourself. We want to get you to lead yourself, which is stage 4, which we'll be talking about and diving deep into today. And then we'll also talk and finish off with leading others. So that is how we're going to finish off this series and this journey. And I'll make an announcement at the end. How does that sound for an agenda today? I'm looking forward to spending time with you. I'm looking forward to giving you my best and adding value to you. I'm looking forward to giving you something that will make a difference. So let's, at this point, introduce myself a bit better. So I said I am Patience Ogunbona for those that don't know me and haven't met me, aka the Visionary Introverted Woman. And this is because I'm totally in the corner of the introverted woman, and I want her to use her gifts and talents to deliver what she's meant to deliver on earth. And sometimes that can be a challenge because we know that a high percentage of people are extroverted, or a lot of things are skewed towards people who are extroverted. However, it doesn't mean that you can't bring that balance, that diversity, that inclusion into life. So it's all about helping the introverted woman to develop her strengths, to develop tenacity, unwavering self-belief that allows her to thrive, to increase her performance, and to go ahead and create increased impact, influence, and income. I'm also a corporate and business trainer. So I work with SMEs, corporations, hi Rosemary, corporations, to help them to develop and devise strategies to achieve what I call the 3 Ps, i.e. the people, performance, and process strategies, thereby making sure that, they build a very solid business. And I do this by offering training in the area of leadership and personal effectiveness, as well as inclusion and diversity. So that's me, and that's all I'm going to say about me. But I want to, that's me in terms of what I do. So let me share a joke that the joke is on me now. Hi, Rosemary. I hope I've said hi to you. Thank you for joining me on LinkedIn. So basically, the joke's on me. Let me share a little bit. They say laughter does well as medicine. As most of you know, there are a lot of jokes that people tell when they hear the word patience. So my name is Patience, and that can make, people create a lot of jokes around it. And the truth is, in my younger years, I used to kind of take offense, but now I laugh along with a lot of the jokes because it resonates with me, and I'm lighter and freer and very accepting of myself. So I want to share one that is very interesting. So a couple of, let's say 2 years ago, I was having a bit of panic. Is it panic or asthma attack, you call it, I think. And so I was sitting down and I called my husband and he said, call the ambulance, call the ambulance. Nobody's at home to look after you. So I called the ambulance and the ambulance guy says, can you breathe? I said, I'm working hard on it. And then he said, what's your name? And I said, Patience. He said, I know you are the patient, but what's your name? I said, my name is Patience. He said, oh, so sorry about that. Okay, Patience. So that was a very funny one. And instead of me thinking about the seriousness of my issue, I started to laugh at myself and laugh. And he laughed as well. But I guess he realized that the ambulance would come and I'll be all right. And I was all right. I was just having a moment. And the truth is, I didn't have my inhalers at the time. So I hope that made you laugh at my expense. But I hope it also helps you. So Rahima, thanks for joining me on Facebook. I hope it also helps you to lighten the mood. So I just want to talk about leading yourself, which is the first topic we want to dive into today. And what does that really mean? Because some people don't resonate with the word leadership. They just think about it in positional terms. But before you can even get a position to lead other people, you have to lead yourself. So leadership is something every day we should be talking about. It's something that impacts all our lives in many ways, especially in this season. You can see how leadership is impacting the decisions about whether we are going to thrive or whether we're going to have challenges and all sorts of things. So, and on a personal level, you have to first of all develop yourself. So in the Leading Yourself in 5 Stages series, the 4th part, having worked on yourself, then you use that to develop, amplify and elevate yourself even more. That's what I mean by self-leadership. Is about elevating yourself, understanding your values. Hi, Yosef. Thanks for joining on LinkedIn. So basically, it's about elevating yourself. It's about understanding and operating in the place of your values with authority and assertiveness. It is said also that, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't lead it to drink. You can't force it to drink. So when you get yourself going, you have to develop yourself, feed and nurture yourself with the things that will help you grow. And many times I have said it with clients, with everybody, what makes you fail or succeed is you, before processes, before systems, because it's you that is going to drive yourself to create what you want to create. So in business especially, many people jump into it and don't realize that leadership is important. For me, for many introverted women as well who like to maybe take a step back, there are those that are forward. It's not one size fits all, but in the generality, a lot of women that I work with tend to struggle with visibility and tend to struggle with coming out. And so the idea is, if you are able to develop your leadership skills, you're able to step out. So what does self-leadership really help you to achieve? It helps you to really take ownership, and ownership of what you need to do, number one. So what do you need to do? How do you be real with yourself? How do you be true to yourself? Hi, Abby. Thanks for joining me. So how do you be true to yourself and real with yourself about who you are and what you need to do? So the number one thing is self-leadership is about taking ownership of what you need to do. The second thing is taking ownership and celebrating what you can do. Because many times, again, when I work with a lot of women, they tend to take a step back and focus on their failures rather than their successes. And the truth is, you need to focus and understand what you can do and celebrate what you can do and nurture what you can do to get you results. That's very important. You've done that, then the third element of self-leadership is to know who will help you do what you want to do, to find them. So I recently, all of last year, I was working on building my team. And this year, I feel like I'm more in the comfort zone of having built that team because I know that you can't do it on your own. That's why the third element of leading yourself is others. And I'm going to talk about that. So the thing to remember is that some of us wait to be saved by others before we move forward. So self-leadership is about taking ownership, taking responsibility for what you need to do to save yourself first. And that might include bringing other people in, but you bring other people in as a strategy to co-elevate, to increase what you already have. So if you're not aware of what you need to do, what you have, then it can be a challenge for somebody to even help you. So personal development is a great thing. Personal effectiveness is a great thing, and it helps you. Self-awareness is a big thing. You know, how many people spend 35 years in a job they hate, waiting for permission or waiting for opportunity for promotion, rather than being able to say, what are the things I need to do to elevate myself, either out of this environment that is not giving me the opportunity, or elevate myself to the point where I'm recognized for the promotion that I'm looking for. Now, you might say, oh, that's difficult, and it is. I remember tuning into this many years ago in my career, and it really helped me because I began, but I've written a post this week that talked about how somebody challenged me and said, what are you going to do about it? Because I was abdicating responsibility. I was talking about the unfairness of my lack of promotion. And she just challenged me as a coach to say, what are you going to do about it? And I suddenly realized I could do something about it and nobody had challenged me. So I challenge you today again on this. Self-leadership is about answering that question. What are you going to do about your reality that you have not yet done that you need to do? In business as well, it's like waiting for luck to happen or waiting for situations to change rather than taking the bulls by the horn and taking responsibility for creating the business that you want. It's what I call an aligned and authentic business. That's the blueprint that I apply with my clients. An aligned and authentic business is one that requires you to actually know yourself. So there's hard work. Guess who is difficult to change? You, of course. So, but once you know yourself and you're operating, the law of least effort comes in, because the law of least effort says that if you're operating from your genius and your strength zone, it will be easier for you. But if your strength is underdeveloped and underused, you're going to struggle. And that's what's important about self-development. So the truth to remember is that here are some key facts that I want you to remember. It's not about to move forward in life. You don't need somebody to give you authority. You can develop yourself to have authority. Yeah. You can also you don't need someone to give you positioning or to give you a title. You can position yourself and automatically you gain that title. There are many people we know that are called teachers and have followers. Take Gandhi, for example, who left his job and started getting people to follow him. And he was called maybe teacher and all the names that they could call him. It wasn't about title. It was about what he was doing to change the world. So to take responsibility does not require title. You need to step up. When I talked about work, what did I do to be able to change my circumstance? I actually volunteered for things I knew I had gaps in, but I knew everybody else did have gaps as well. But I had mapped out my plan of action to my escape route from an environment that I didn't feel was going to help me grow. And that meant that I was finding things that I didn't yet have the capacity to do and asking to be put in there to do it. And since everybody else was afraid of failure, I made failure my friend. I just thought if I fail, I'll be told off, but I would have learned what I don't know. Because guess what? What holds you back is what you don't know that you don't know. And the only way to know what you don't know is to get on board with doing things and finding it out the hard way. So that's very important. So you don't have to be told if you're going to follow self-leadership. You ask questions. One of my mentors, one of my indirect mentors, because he was a manager, and he saw that I was struggling to ask questions. I didn't like asking questions because that meant that I showed that I was not, I had deficiency in knowledge. And he called me one day and he said, Patience, I know you're struggling. You want to ask a question. And I said, yeah, no. He said, if you don't ask, you don't get, and ask you might get. That changed my life big time. I would go somewhere. From then on, it became a philosophy. And I would go to a place and my husband would be like, we can't ask for that. I say, try me. And I'll go ahead and I'll say, can we have £500 of that money? And they'll be like, oh, it's doable. And I'll be like, you see? And my husband will be like jaw on the ground, almost wanting to fall down and thinking, how on earth does she have the courage to go do this? Because I recognized that it made a way for me. It created opportunities for me. The worst that anybody could say to me was no, and I just move on to get the next no, or heading very quickly to my yes. So I was counting the no's and thinking, oh, well, maybe no or not yet. Sometimes I treated no's as not yet. So that's what's important when you're leading yourself. You need to remember that. You also need to remember, unfortunately, that you will be modeling for others so that eventually they will see you as somebody that they could look upon and give permission to lead them. How many of us parents know that sometimes children rebel because they know our secret? They know we're telling them to do something we are never going to do. So therefore they rebel and think, yeah, whatever, you don't do it. Why should I? My children can be very good examples of that if they want to. So even from when they were young, I put a bigger standard on my life. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'm a saint, but I just thought that rather than spend 5 sessions shouting, I'll spend 2 hours learning how I can work on myself to be a role model. And some of the comments my kids have made just impromptu without, when maybe myself and the dad are doing something, indicate that they actually see that modeling, or they are indirectly telling us of where we haven't modeled right. But it's all useful feedback. So you will be in a position, the only way you can step back into or can step up into leadership after leading yourself is to know that you would step into a place of role modeling and developing yourself, elevating yourself first. So that's why the 4th stage is important. So we now go to the final stage, which is leading others. Before you can effectively start to lead others, obviously, you have to lead yourself. So, and you have to then be somebody that serves others in a way that helps them to realize their own passion, and help them to pursue purpose as well. And your own purpose is being fulfilled as a result of that service. Most of us, especially being a business person, this is an area that an awareness is very important for. You serve others to be able to find your purpose. And in so doing, you empower them to serve others. For me, that's what I call transformation and multiplication. So that's why my company is called ATI Coaching, Consulting and Training Limited. ATI stands for Aspire, Transform, Inspire. So basically, my aspirations lead me to work on people, to work with people, to work alongside people, to go on that transformational journey. And once they are transformed, they can inspire others. They can go ahead and create that multiplication. The reason why leading your life through 5 stages, the reason why the 5th stage is leading others is because we cannot do everything we want to do or achieve everything we want to achieve by ourselves. As Zig Ziglar, the popular Zig Ziglar said, one of his favorite books of mine is See You at the Top. It's one of the first books I read that also then changed my life, that gave me a turnaround in my life. And he said, you can get all that you want if you help as many other people get what they want. And many of us then need to then realize that the next level of our elevation requires us to get to begin to lead, to begin to work with others, to begin to help others achieve. And so when you start out, the most effective way of achieving your own goals is actually to leverage the strength of others, which leads to, and the opportunities that others will bring into your life. Let's be honest, I've been hurt by many people as the journey of business because of trying to get close. But last year, I focused on others. I focused on working with others. And that's why my keyword for this year is trust. Because I recognize that when you're hurt, you will lose trust. But in order to be able to really work well with others, you have to build trust. So that is a growth element for me that I'll continue to develop in myself. I trust God first. I learn to trust myself to follow through. That's where performance enhancement and personal effectiveness and leading yourself comes. Then I'm able to trust others. Trust others, because if you don't trust others, guess what? It's going to be hard to achieve the high levels you want. For example, delegation. You continue to do everything yourself if you don't trust people. And guess what? When you trust people, what happens is you begin to achieve through them, with them, and in the instance of, in my case, for them, where I can be a support to achieve, to help them forward, to move forward. And so we need others. Why do we need others? I have 5 points here to talk about why we need others. And that is to achieve more with and through them. That's the first thing. We hear that the terminology team means together, everyone accomplishes more, because it's just as it is. You have that diversity within the group where some people are, if I'm in a group, I'm the big thinker, I'm the visionary, and I'm the one that is kind of looking at the whole surface and looking forward. But in that means I need somebody who is like perhaps a deep thinker, but also somebody that looks at the detail and focuses on making sure that the here and now is done. Fortunately for me, with the course I read and with the work I did as an accountant or auditor, it's helped that process as well. So I have that balance in me, which I'm lucky, and I'm able to help people to be tenacious about, really, especially people that are like me and too big picture, to find strategies to really focus and hone in, because I've had to grow through it as part of my career. So the next point, the second point about why we need others is to go through and grow through life with them and in business. It's a lonely world out there. And loneliness is one of the big reasons why people have mental health issues. And even in this time, part of what we're struggling with is the fact that people cannot engage with other people. So we want to be able to go through and grow through with people, with others. Then we want to find companionship is the number 3, and build life-enhancing relationships. Relationships make the world go round. The core ingredient of relationships is love. Whether or not when we talk love, we suddenly think romance, and it's not all that, because the truth about it is, on a basic level, even when you are acquainted with somebody, you have to operate on the principle of love, which means kindness, which means compassion. Whether it's just an acquaintance that you meet today, those principles apply. And so we need others. We need others to be able to have that companionship and fill our bucket on our cup, our soul of love. Then we want to find increased reach through them. Collaboration, referring each other, working together on a problem, what I call collaborative problem solving, working together to cross over the hill. I had this phrase about the moonshot ideas. Yeah, love does make the world go round. Definitely, Janet. Thanks for sharing that. That's very useful. In these difficult times, yes, the world goes round because of love. And so we need that as an ingredient to understand when it comes to working with people, whether you meet them just today or you're going to have long-term relationships with them. So you find that you can increase your reach, which is number 4, through them. And you achieve number 5, collaborative problem solving. Sometimes your problems look like a mountain. They say a problem shared is a problem halved. in a scenario, in a space where you can do that with others, you kind of half it. It's kind of like, who somebody else goes thinking about it for you, helps you do the thinking with your narrow experience, with your own limited experience, with your own limited knowledge. You come into an incubator of growth, and you find people to help you. So that brings me to my announcement, really. And I hope you found it very useful, leading yourself first and leading others. My announcement is regarding how you can join an incubator of growth, an incubator of support, where you can co-create with other people or you can co-elevate. So if you're a business person, this is very important. And I found that while introverted women don't like crowds, but they also can get lost in crowds. And also, by the time they're ready to kind of present themselves, in some instances, time has passed and they've lost the opportunity. So a small group in which you can deliver changes for yourself is what I believe that would work well for you. So basically, that's great, Janet. I would love to have a chat. Fantastic. So collaboration is, the key to success. And it's also about co-creating and co-elevating. So what does that mean? For me, I call it a mastermind. A mastermind is a growth incubator that allows you to co-create and co-elevate with like-minded people. And when I say like-minded, that means they are growth-minded people. They are people who understand the value of working together. They are people who understand the value of leading themselves. And even if they don't, when they come into that circle, they're going to be infected with the enthusiasm of the rest of the group to help them grow. So my mastermind is called the Women's Vibe Mastermind. And Vibe, in short, stands for Visionary Introverted Business Empowerment. And I'm opening the doors to it starting from tomorrow, and it's going to be on people applying, people coming through. And the idea is that we're going to spend 6 months together, where my role there is to coach, mentor, and provide an enabling environment and a supportive environment to work together with me and with the other women in the group, a small group, for us to be able to achieve all the things and all the headaches that have been in place for many business women that they can't do. And also because I will understand your introversion tendencies. I can call your BS. I can help you to move forward. Hi, Rosemary, again, thanks. I can help you to build yourself up. I have been there. I have isolated myself. I've included myself. I've moved on the spectrum of introversion. So I know how to adapt and I know the flexibility. I also have a team now. And so with the team, I'm able to help and support you to achieve your goals. This is something I've fought for to get here, to be able to do that. So I'm looking forward to, at the end of this video, I'll put an application link there for you to apply and we can have a conversation. If it fits and works for you, I would want to welcome you, because I think 2021 is not the time to do it alone. 2021 is not the time to fluff around and hope that things will get better. I dread to think where I would be if I hadn't looked at things about making things work. So, and I have Rosemary says here, understanding too, asking for help makes work faster. Exactly. Achieving results on time builds teamwork and builds future relationships. Totally. So when you ask for help, when you get the help you need, when that help is relevant, and when that help lightens your load, when that help makes you feel lighter, you have space to be able to do. And my principle is to be a river rather than a reservoir. So I've been working hard to make sure that everything that I'm gaining is not lost, or everything that I've lost but learned from is not totally lost, because I can transfer all of that to help other people in a hands-on environment. So doors are open. That's what I'm trying to say. To join my Women's Vibe Mastermind program, which is not necessarily a program. It's a group. We come together and we make things happen. We help you build, scale, and grow your business. That's what we're going to do. So get in touch with me. Follow the link. which I'll put at the end of the Facebook and LinkedIn Live, and let's talk about it. If I'm a fit for you, then we can sign on. If I'm not, that's still fine. I can point you in the direction of who is, because that's another thing I learned from my coaching days is not everybody's the person that I can serve. So I can point them to the person that will serve them better. So this is just my take on leading your life in 5 stages. Thank you for joining me. If you're struggling to find the remaining of all of the 5 stages, they'll be on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to put that out as well. Feel free to subscribe so that you can take your time and watch all 5. But in the meantime, I'm looking forward to connecting with you, because apart from the series I do Wednesdays, I would continue to do my live sessions because I love adding value and I love bringing value. So thank you to those who have joined me. Thank you to those who have watched. Thank you to those who have communicated with me. And thank you, Rosemary, for your interest. And thank you to those who are reaching out behind the scenes. Already I have 2 people who have reached out to say they want to join. And because it's a limited space, I need to just make sure that I get everybody, on a call, and we have a conversation and we talk about it. It is so a place I'm looking forward to, an incubator of growth, an incubator of purpose, an incubator of delivery, action and results-oriented environment. That's what I'm looking forward to. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't have to be loud and proud. If you're introverted, it works perfect for you. We can shout when we want. We can be quiet when we want. We can go into our shell when we want, because I get it. Not only do I get it from a personal level, there are 4 of us in my house and all of us are introverted. We have our little spaces and it works brilliantly. So I am all over it all the time. And not only that, I've used whatever it is. I've given myself unapologetic permission to call myself the visionary introverted woman. So that's because that's me. It's never going to change. It's a built-in system, but it works and I'm adaptable. So thank you for watching. Remember your 5 stages of leading your life. Survival. Don't sit too much in survival. Move on to making a choice, which is stage 2. Once you've made your choice, remember to develop your performance. Then remember to lead yourself effectively, to elevate yourself. Then go ahead in level 5 or stage 5 and elevate others. You can do this. Yes. So this year you can do this. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust those around you. And before I finish, I always finish obviously with a nice little positive note to share. And this one today, I told you a joke about my name, Patience. I'm going to tell you a prayer for patience as well. So I mentioned last week that my kitchen and my house is full of a lot of positive notes to remind me to help maintain my emotional and well-being and positivity. So here is a little card that is one of my cupboards in my kitchen, and it's called A Prayer for Patience. So I want to leave you with that, because I think we need to be patient with the whole journey we're going through at the moment in lockdown. We just need to be patient, even though patience is not what you call a passive state, a proactive state where we are building in hope for the future. So here is the prayer. Thanks, Rosemary. I'm glad you had fun. So here is the prayer to finish it so that it's recorded and you remember. It says, when my patience seems too short, help me to stretch it. Teach me how to meet a crisis with a smile. Isn't that great? When I'm running out of quick and clever answers, let the questions stop for just a little while. Yeah, so grace to have a bit of a respite from trials, from struggles. So when it seems as though the day has too few hours in which to do the things I have to do, may I always find the time for what's important. Time for listening, time for love, and laughter too. God bless you. Have a lovely rest of the week. Take care and bye. And remember, check on the link to apply. God bless.